Hey yogis, I'm Nicole. Welcome to My Yoga Time. Today's yoga snack is especially tailored for those new mums who are wanting to return to their practice or new mums who are wanting to start a yoga practice. So the class is designed to help you regain your core, stability and mobility in your joints, and to also help you cultivate a sense of calm. So for this practice, I am using 2 yoga blocks. So if you've got 2 blocks, please recruit them. If you don't have 2 blocks and you've only got 1, then grab yourself a rolled up towel. If you don't have any blocks at all, then please do grab yourself a rolled up towel, maybe a pillow. There will be some exercises that we use the block and you won't have a prop, but that's still okay. You can still practice the class. There will be one posture that we do use the wall for. So if you can position yourself close to the wall, that'd be great. When you're ready, let's begin. We're going to start on our back. So come on down. And we'll just straighten those legs. Arms can be by your side and tuck the shoulders under. Have the feet about hip width apart, toes pointing straight up. And then bring the toes into touch, big toes to touch. As you inhale, let the feet fall out wide. We're going to have our awareness here on the lower belly. And then as you exhale, bring those toes back together and lift the pelvic floor as you do so. Then as you inhale, take the feet out wide, relax those muscles, let the breath descend and the navel expand. And then as you exhale, tone through the pelvic floor, feel the lower abdominal muscles engage. Let's do 3 more. Well done. Let's bend those knees now. We're coming into a reclined pigeon just to release any tension that might be in the hips. So taking your right ankle to the left knee. Now option 1 is exactly as you are. If you'd like to go a little deeper but not too far, you could place a block underneath your foot. If you're straining through the neck, you can always take a block or a pillow underneath the head. And if it's available for you, final variation, you'll take a hold of that left leg. So while you're here, let's try to arch the back just a little. And breathe into the outer hip. And let's release that left leg now if you have it. Moving into a hamstring stretch. Interlace your hands around the right thigh. And I want you to push the leg into the hands and pull the hands onto the leg. So you're creating resistance there. Feel free to point the toes as you inhale and flex the foot as you exhale. So we're always wanting to place the movement with the breath. This will create a far more mindful practice, helping you to be in the present moment. I found after having my 2 babies, my daily practice was very much affected. I could no longer come to my mat for an hour and a half uninterrupted. So what I started to incorporate in my day was yoga snacks, which is where we are now. So throughout the day, I might find I'd only get 10 minutes uninterrupted, and that is okay. So if there's a few exercises that you really like in this class, please do practice them throughout the day. They can be practiced in isolation. Well done. Let's change sides now. So recline pigeon, left side, left ankle to the right knee. Same options as before. You might even have the urge to take a little rock from side to side. And again, breathing into the outer hip. Where attention goes, energy flows. Let's release on the exhalation, come into the hamstring stretch with that left leg. So looking for a little arch in the lower back here. You want to press your tailbone down. Inhale to point the toes and exhale to flex the foot. Next exhalation, lower down. So we're just going to move the hips just a little to the left, not too far, and reach for your block. Place it in between your thighs. Take the arms out to the side and bend the elbows, so cactus arms, and we'll pick the feet up off the mat. So here, push your lower back down into the mat. Try to remove any space between the back and the mat, and a little tone here through the pelvic floor. Try to keep the jaw relaxed. Inhale, and then as you exhale, bring the legs over to the right, just 45 degrees, and then come back to center. Again, exhale over to the right, 45 degrees, and then inhale back to center. We'll do that one more time. And now we're going to come all the way down onto the mat. So if your right leg doesn't meet the floor with ease, you can use your second block or a pillow to prop the body. Try to keep the hips in line, the knees in line with the hips or thereabouts. If it feels okay for your neck, just lift the head a little, move the back of the head to the right, and then turn your head to the left. And find that nice deep abdominal breath. Breathing into the lower belly, the lower back. In just a moment, we'll come back to center. Before you do, I want you to tone through the pelvic floor once again. That's going to help support your back as you come back to center. Once there, lower those feet down to the floor. Pick up the hips and move them just a touch to the right. And then we'll do the same on the left side. So as you exhale, legs coming over 45 degrees. And then inhale back to center. And coming all the way down now. Lifting the head and moving the back of the head to the left as you turn your head to the right. And you can gently deepen your twist by deepening your breath. Coming back to center now, once again, tone through the pelvic floor. Inhale those legs back and lower those feet down to the floor. Just centering the body on the mat now. We're going to keep the block in between the thighs and take a bridge flow. So bring those feet as close to the bottom as you can. Now those feet are going to then press down and try and slide them away from your bottom. On the inhalation, we'll take the arms above the head and then pause, tuck the tailbone under just a little, and when you begin to exhale, lift those hips up. Follow the next inhalation, float the arms down, and then lift up the heels and exhale, coming down one vertebrae at a time. Heels will touch down last. Inhale, arms above the head. Taking a gentle pelvic tilt before lifting those hips up as you exhale. So on the inhalation, the arms move, and the exhalation, the hips move. Let's do one more. Well done, yogis. Take the block to the side. Let's cup those hands over the knees. Arms as straight as you inhale. Bend the elbows when you exhale. Well done. If you need more time with this motion, please take it. Otherwise, we're going to come up to seated. Now, you might choose just to roll to one side and push yourself up, or if it's available for you, we can rock and roll our way up to seated. Coming all the way up. So from here, let's come over onto all fours. Coming into your tabletop position. And make sure those hands are underneath the shoulders. Extend the right leg behind you, toes pointing down. Now what you want to do here is make sure you're not swaying through the back. Tuck your tailbone under, draw your lower belly in. Option 1 is as you are. Option 2, take that left arm out in front. And feel as though you're sending the left arm and the right leg in towards one another. Keep the jaw relaxed. Keep breathing. As you exhale, take your left palm down to the mat and take your right foot over to the left. Toes are tucking under. Look over your shoulder. Press into the palms, the hips, and the heel. From here, lift up that right leg and take it all the way out to the right, toes pointing forward. Walk your hands over to the left. So you might choose to use a block here underneath your left hand if you need, otherwise hand to the floor. So your left hand, your left knee, and your right foot are in one straight line. Reach that right arm overhead and feel as though you're tucking your tailbone under. Breathe into the side waist. Option 1 is as you are. Option 2 will take a flow, sitting down, sweeping the arm in front of the body, and then as you inhale, coming back up. Exhale to lower. Well done, holding it there. And return to the center of your mat. Other side now, left leg behind you, toes pointing down. Tuck the tailbone, firm the lower belly. Option to take that right arm out in front. And to help relieve the wrist here, really press into the pads of the fingers. You might even feel the middle part of the palm lift a little, like a suction cup. It will help to build strength in your wrist. Let's lower right hand down, take the left leg over to the right, look over your shoulder. And taking that left leg out to the left side now, toes pointing forward, walk your hands over to the right, coming to your gate stretch. Inhale, and option to take a flow as you exhale. Last one. And then return to the center of your mat. Well done, yogis. From here, we're going to keep our hips up nice and high. Come into your puppy pose, so extend those arms out in front. Now, a couple of choices here. Hands can be as wide as the mat, or you can bring the elbows closer. Take the hands in a prayer above the head. If your forehead doesn't meet the mat with ease, you can use a block underneath for support. Feel the in-breath creating space in the upper body. Let's lower those hands down, lifting up the head now, coming down onto your navel. And we'll keep the chest lifted, just reach the arms out in front and try and drag the hands back. So you should feel a nice tone in the muscles along the spine. Let's lower down now. Take the hands underneath your shoulders. Keep a tuck in the tailbone, a little tone through the pelvic floor. And as you inhale, lift up the chest and the feet. And even here, try and pull the hands back. Keep those elbows squeezing in towards the ribs. And when you're ready, you can exhale and lower down. Let's inhale to come up again. We'll do 3 more at your own pace. And coming down now, take a brief rest, turn your head to one side, let your arms rest next to the body, palms to face the ceiling. And let's return to our tabletop position. Recruit your block once again. Take that block in between your thighs. So here we want the pinky fingers to meet the edges of the mat if you can. Fingers spread nice and wide. Curl those toes under and we're going to move through our cat-cow stretches. So inhaling to arch the back, exhaling to round. So here is option 1. Feel free to stay as you are. A little stronger if we incorporate a downward facing dog. So as you round the back, keep the back rounded, press into the pads of the fingers as you take the hips up and back. Let's hold here as we inhale. Then as you exhale with control, lower those knees down to the mat, firming the thighs in on the block. When you touch down, inhale and find your back bend. And then exhale to round. Hips up and back. Move with your breath at your own pace. Next downward facing dog, we're going to hold there. Unless, of course, if there's any pain or discomfort in your wrists or shoulders, bring your knees down to the mat and return to our puppy pose instead. So feel the thighs roll in on the block. Try to squeeze the heels of the palms towards one another. And then send your chest towards your thighs. Let the head hang. Well done, yogis. Let's walk our hands back towards the feet. Bending the knees a little as you roll up to standing. So we're going to keep the block in between the thighs for the next few moments. Feet here are obviously hip width apart. Let's tuck the tailbone under. Feel the pressure of the thighs in on the block. You can briefly bring the shoulders forward and down, and then try and take the elbows back and up. So you should be feeling a little bit taller here. Now it's really helpful, especially through the sensation that you're feeling here through your hips, your thighs, your lower back, your lower belly. You can recreate this at any time without the block. And I always made it a habit when I was holding bub that I would engage there, so I'm using my core, whether I'm nursing, whether I'm standing, no matter what I'm doing, or even if you're just chopping vegetables at the bench. It's a great way to, as I said, build that core back up and release the lower back. And obviously as bub gets heavier, you can use bub as a weight. So make sure you're switching on. From here, we're going to include a little flow. Let's inhale, arms up. As you exhale, bring the hands down to the heart and start to bend the knees, coming into your chair pose. Inhale. When you exhale, fold forward. Then as you inhale, come halfway up. So we want a nice flat spine here if we can. If the fingertips need to come up to the knees, that's fine. Try and lift the tailbone and the heart. And then as you exhale, folding down. Reverse swan dive, come all the way up. Exhale, bend the knees, lower the hands. Folding forward. Half lift as you inhale. Forward fold as you exhale. Reverse swan dive. We're going to do that flow one last time. Folding forward. Half lift. Forward fold. Reverse swan dive. So from here, we're going to utilize the wall. So standing with your right hip now next to the wall, and you're about a foot distance away. We're going to keep that block in between the thighs. So right arm coming behind you now, palm to face the ceiling. Pinky finger is pressing into the wall. Left hand is going to cross in front of the body. So it is a little bit of a back bend here. We want to tuck the tailbone under, feel the thighs firm in on the block. If you feel that you can go deeper, you can just simply step in closer to the wall. So this position is especially therapeutic when breastfeeding, as it opens up all the glands under the armpit, so especially helpful for treating mastitis. Let's release that arm down now. Give the shoulders a bit of a roll as you change sides. Left arm coming up behind you. Right fingertips in front. Tailbone pointing down. Firming those thighs in on the block. Looking over your right shoulder if you can. And let's release. Remove the block now, and we'll come to stand at the top of your mat, placing your block on the floor. Let's inhale the arms up. Swan dive, bend the knees as you fold forward. Coming halfway up again as you inhale. And then as you exhale, step your right leg back. We're coming into a low lunge. Right knee can come down to the mat. When you're ready, bring those arms up. So here I want you to feel like you're trying to drag your left foot back and pull your right knee forward. You can engage the right buttock if you like. Turn the pinky fingers in. Lift the chin and move the throat forward. And then see if you can deepen your breath. From here, we'll take a twist, bring those palms together, and take the elbow to the outer knee if you can. So you might find you need to help with your left hand to push that leg across. Keep breathing. Let's return those hands to center. Lift up that back knee. We're going to step it back into your plank position. So by all means, feel free to bring those knees down to the mat. We're going to bring the body forward. Push the back of the heart up towards the ceiling so you're rounding your upper back. And then as you lower, try not to collapse your shoulders. You want to squeeze the elbows into the ribs as you come all the way down. From here, take those hands beside you. Same as before, tuck the tailbone under, then inhale and float up the chest, the legs and the hands. Try and lift a little here through those inner thighs. You might even feel the breath rocking the body. When you need to, lower down, turn your head to one side, palms to face the ceiling. Bring those hands underneath the shoulders, return to your tabletop. Same as before, let's inhale, arching the back, curl those toes under. Exhale to round the spine. Inhaling once again. This time as you exhale with that rounded spine, take the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Let's take 3 out breaths here through the mouth. I want you to ha out the breath. When you're ready, looking forward, step your right foot through, lower left knee down. Bring the arms up. Try and squash the mat with your feet, so try and pull that left knee forward, right foot back. That's going to create a little more stability around those hips and around the lower back. And when you're ready, find your twist. Let's return to center. Once again, we're going to step it back into our plank. Feel free to bring those knees down. In time, you'll work towards keeping those knees up. The alignment cues will be the same. So pushing back of the heart up towards the ceiling, body comes forward a little, press those elbows into the ribs as you come all the way down. So practicing Shalabhasana again, arms next to the body is option 1. Different variation if you can interlace the fingers. So press the pubic bone into the mat, tone through the pelvic floor, and inhale, gently lift up the chest and the legs. When you need to, lower down, turn your head to one side. And then let's return to our tabletop position. So this time we're going to bring the knees together and see if you can cross the right leg behind the left leg. And then take those feet wide. So you're going to push the right knee into the back of the left knee. Now we're going to walk back and sit in between the feet. If your hips are tight, sit on your block, or if you don't have a block, sit on maybe a thick book or a pillow. So block is there if you need. If you don't need the block, then you can come all the way down to the mat. If this position is not an option for you, even with those hips elevated due to knee or hip ailments, then instead I'll get you to cross the legs, but try and cross at the calves, left leg's in front, and flex those feet for me. So here we want to press the outside edges of the feet down into the mat. You should feel a little tone through those outer hips. Bring the arms out to the side. We're going to cross the right arm over the left arm. Option 1, you'll stay here and keep that right arm straight. Create resistance between the arms as though they're trying to escape one another. And bring that right shoulder down. If it's available for you, bend the right arm as well and take a full bind. Pressing forearms together. Pressing those feet down. Breathing into the shoulder blades behind the heart center. And down into the hips. Well done. Let's unravel those arms. We'll take a side bend from here. Leaning over to your left, take your right arm up. Let's look down and try and press your left palm down and slide it away. Take the breath into the side body. Well done. Inhale to come up and return to tabletop. So walking those hands forward, uncrossing the legs, and we'll change sides, left knee behind the right. Coming back, finding your seat. A little tone through those feet, press them down, draw the toes back towards the knees. Arms out as you inhale, crossing left arm on top of the right this time. Option 1 is here, option 2, find your bind. Let's unravel those arms, moving into your side bend, leaning over to your right, looking down. and let's release. So from here we'll lean back, uncross those legs and swish the knees from side to side. So from here, let's return to our tabletop position. And we're going to thread the needle. So we're going to take the right arm underneath the left to begin with. Bring your right ear down towards the mat. And if your head doesn't meet the mat with ease, use your block or a pillow. We're going to bend the left arm and lift the palm up off the mat. So just your fingertips pressing down. Your right arm, we're going to push into the floor and gently squeeze those shoulder blades towards one another. And do try to keep those hips square. Inhale to come up, and we'll change sides straight away. Well done, and let's release that pose. So we're going to come down onto our back now into a restorative upper back bend. So for this one, I'm using 2 blocks. If you've only got the 1 block, then recruit your rolled up towel and place that underneath your shoulder blade. So that will go where this bottom block is going. So the block or the towel is in line with where your bra strap would be. Second block under the head. Now I've got both of my blocks at the same height. If you need to lighten this pose, if it's too intense, take the prop under the head higher and feel free to keep those knees bent. Otherwise, option to straighten and relax those legs. If you're using both props and you'd feel like you'd like to go a little deeper, you can always remove the prop underneath the head. Arms are out to the side. And feel free to close the eyes down. And breathe into the heart center. And when you're ready to release the pose, we'll bend the knees. Either roll off to your side or bend the elbows, tuck in the chin, push the forearms into the floor as you come halfway up. Remove your props, but keep them close by, coming down onto your back. So once on your back, take the feet as wide as the mat. Let those knees fall into touch. Hands can rest on the navel. Just noticing any newfound space in the upper body. Feeling the meeting points between the body and the mat. When you're ready, let's bring those feet a little closer together now, coming into your supported bridge pose. So if you don't have any props at home, you could always use a thick book for this one, or maybe a pillow folded in half. When you're ready, lift those hips up. Option 1, block can be on the flat side. Option 2, turn the block to the second height. Notice the navel gently rise and fall with the ebb and flow of your breath. When we're able to witness the breath, the volume on the mind chatter turns down. When you're ready to release the pose, let's lift up the heels and the hips together. Remove the block, come down one vertebrae at a time. And then same as we did at the beginning of the class, cup those hands over the knees, arms as straight as you inhale, bending the elbows as you exhale. If you need longer with this motion, please take it. Otherwise, we're going to move into a twist. So hips will go slightly to the left. We're going to cross the left leg over the right leg and bring the knees down to the right. Place your block underneath the legs for support. Now, if this is causing any discomfort in your knees or your hips, uncross the legs. You can practice the same as we did at the beginning with the block in between the thighs, or even just straighten your right leg. Keep your left knee bent. Let's inhale those knees back to center. I'm crossing the legs, changing sides. When you're ready, inhale those legs back to center. We'll take a moment in Shavasana, laying flat on the floor. If you've got those two blocks or a pillow even, you might like to place them underneath your thighs or underneath your knees. Be sure to tuck the shoulders under. Turn the palms to face the ceiling. And as you close the eyes down, soften the forehead, the tongue and jaw. And begin to inhale a little deeper. And breathe down your right arm to the fingertips. And breathe down your right leg to the tips of your toes. Send the breath down your left leg. And breathing down the left arm. And wiggling toes and fingers. Feel free to turn the head from side to side. Following any urges to move or stretch. Before rolling onto your preferred side. And then finding your way up to seated. Well, thanks beautiful yogis. I hope that you enjoyed the practice. So as I mentioned earlier, if you don't have time to do the class in its entirety, you can always pause the class or pick and choose different exercises from that and incorporate it every day if you can. So when holding bub, remember to try and tuck the tailbone under, firm the lower belly. Do remember your pelvic floor exercises throughout the day and to breathe mindfully. So if you enjoy the practice, please do subscribe to the channel, not just my channel, but any other yoga teachers that you may watch on a regular basis, as it's the best way to support free yoga on YouTube. Have a lovely day.